Listen, you do not spank a bedwetter. You do not verbally abuse a bedwetting child. Stop assuming that they peeing on themselves on purpose. That's not true. Some children, now first of all, in order for you to go to bed, your bladder sends a signal to your brain to wake you up. Some children have a delayed development in that communication stream between bladder and brain. Your child might be one of them. I know people who wet the bed, still wet the bed, 30, 40 years old, it still ain't developed. The bladder still ain't talking to the brain. And you spanking your kid and verbally beating on your child because he peed on himself, he might not have no control. If the bladder ain't sending a message to the brain, what do you want him to do about it? But I'll tell you how you can help. You're going to put a chart on his bedroom door. 30 days in a month, 4 weeks. Every time your son has a dry day, he wakes up, it's a dry bed, he's going to get a smiley face. Wet bed, he's going to get a sad face. It's 7 days in a week. So far, your son is peeing 5 days out of 7. The bed is wet 5, so we're going to start him low. I want 3 dry beds out of 7. And then if I get 3 dry beds out of 7 for 3 weeks, then I want 4 dry beds out of 7. Just using the chart is going to motivate your child to do a little bit better at night. He might get up and go twinkle a little bit early before he lays down tonight because he's motivated to get that reward that's waiting for him on Saturday. If your child is on medication, they will be thirsty a lot and they will have to pee a lot. I don't care if they're on diabetes meds, I don't care if they're on Ritalin. A child on medicine is a diuretic. It rids the body. They got to pee all the time. So you got to let the teacher know that. You ain't got to tell the teacher what kind of medicine and what it's for. My son on meds and it makes him go to the bathroom, so he might have to go to the bathroom 1 or 2 extra times. Let the school know that. Because you know what the white teacher's going to do? They're not going to let him pee, then he's going to pee on himself. And they never going to want to go to school again because it's going to be talked about by all his friends. I've seen this happen before. Okay? Also, getting back to the bedwetting. If your child is a bedwetter, there's different devices you can buy for the bedwetting child. Okay? Sears, for example. They sell a device that goes under the sheet. When a child begins to pee, it vibrates and wakes him up. Okay? The idea is to train the child on when to wake up because most kids who pee in the bed don't know what time of the night they pee. Are y'all following me? So if the bed keeps vibrating every time he pees, then he starts to wake up at that same time, and now he can catch himself. Okay? But make sure you try it first in your own bed so you don't get electrocuted. The other device is a monitor. One goes in the bed, one goes in your room. Just like the infant monitor, when a child begins to pee, it don't buzz the kid, it buzzes you. The idea is for you to get up, go into the room and wake him up and make him go to the bathroom. So he's still going to pee a little bit, but most of the liquid he'll still have to empty, so that builds his self-esteem that he's doing better and doing better and doing better. Okay? That's how you do. Now some of y'all tell y'all bedwetting kids to stop drinking water at night. It's okay for them to cut back, but don't dehydrate your damn child so they don't pee. Of course he ain't gonna pee. He ain't got no liquid in his body. My mama said, let the boy drink. Now, if you don't want to buy no devices for the bedwetting child, what do you have to do? Set your alarm clock. Some kids pee in the bed the first third of the night. Some kids pee in the bed the second third of the night. Some kids pee in the bed the last third of the night right before you wake them up. You got to learn when your child pees. Most kids pee the first third of the night. Most kids pee within 3 hours of going to sleep. Most kids pee by midnight. And if you can pinpoint when your child is likely to pee, you can just wake them up. And now you training his body to wake up at the exact time it needs to. Ain't nobody got to get beat or yelled at. Now, if your child is doing a number 2 in the bed, wait, one of y'all said wait. Stinky lady. Wait. If the child is doing the number 2, what am I suspecting?
Sexual molestation.
Sexual molestation. Okay? That child is above the age of 7 and they defecate. You got a 10-year-old defecating who's not mentally retarded and ain't got no type of internal bowel issue. I think somebody might have got touched. Okay? You can't accidentally defecate. Okay? Unless you had too many prune juices. But what you do, stay with me. If your child is doing a number 2, you need to get them an assessment by a trained professional, psychologist, psychotherapist, social worker, counselor, to see. I had a case, I'm gonna give you all a true story. Middle school, child was not retarded, went into the bathroom, took her defecation and painted the bathroom walls with it. The principal calls me up. I'm not at the school that day. Dr. Johnson, can you please help us out? I said, is that child slow? No, she's not slow. She's the brightest kid in the class. This is the first time she did this? Yes. I said, I'm willing to bet that child is a victim of sexual molestation. I said, but I can't say it because I ain't seen her. I'm just telling you what it sounds like. They called the mother up. Mother called me. Who the hell is you to be talking about my daughter was touched? And you ain't even seen. I said, miss, they weren't even supposed to tell you that. I get to the school, I meet with the child. I ask her if she ever been touched. She wouldn't really talk to me, okay? She was still. They got her to see somebody else, and guess what? She admitted that she was being sexually abused by her stepfather. Do you know what the defecation was? Protection. If I spread this all over the walls, he won't want to come in here no more because it stinks in here. And a lot of kids defecate in a bed to prevent the perpetrator from trying to attack them again. Can I go a little bit deeper? I know some girls who will intentionally overeat to disfigure themselves because they felt being attractive is what got them molested in the first place. So I'm going to go out my way to be super ugly and won't nobody touch me.
Is that the same for if you didn't have a bedwetter and now you do?
If the child never wet the bed and started wetting the bed, all of a sudden some type of anxiety is going on. Worryation, trauma, could be. If they never wet the bed, they just started out the blue, okay? It could be for attention, it could be for revenge, but you have to explore that possibility. Defecation, I'm definitely exploring the possibility. It's not an automatic, but it's a high likelihood, okay? But one thing I need y'all not to do, this came up the other day, parents trying to remind their children that they were victimized. You don't, well, she was young and I wanted her to know. What? You don't bring that up. You wait till they bring it up. Mama, I'm having dreams that when I was little, some man then that's when you got it. But you don't be, I want you to know this happened to you. There ain't no benefit. Some kids will actually not recall the experience. If they were little, some of them might not recall. Leave it alone. You don't go run around, well, I want her to know. For what? Information is disseminated on a need-to-know basis. A child don't need to know what happened at 2. Wait till they bring it to you. Okay? Which can often happen. Why? Because trauma can do what? Suppress the experience. And it goes underground, deep within the unconscious of the ancestors, and all of a sudden she's 16, and now she's starting to remember exactly what happened at 3. It's the way the mind works.
TV.